girl, Ashley K, aka ABK Angel, and I just want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. I hope that you all have a wonderful Father's Day. Everyone, I'm going to talk to you all about 3 fathers today. The first father will be Fraser C. Robinson III, and that is the wonderful First Lady Obama's father. I will also talk to you all about Guardia and Leah Cross, who was a father right here on YouTube with New Father Chronicles, and I will talk to you all about my own daddy. Hi, so as you all know, First Lady Obama wrote a book called Becoming. I actually have 2 copies. One my mother gave me for Christmas, and another one I got from The View. I was audience member along with my mother and my sister on The View, but that's a different story for a different day. And as I was reading First Lady Obama's book, I found out that her father also had multiple sclerosis, just like me. Knowing that First Lady Obama's father had MS actually gives me hope, because sometimes I worry, will I be able to raise a family of my own one day? However, knowing that First Lady Obama's father had MS and raised 2 great successful children. Her brother is a college basketball coach and is sometimes a broadcaster, and First Lady Obama herself, even before she was First Lady, she was working as a big-time lawyer, and so they both graduated from Princeton. They are absolutely amazing, okay? Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Robinson, for giving me hope. And if you see my daddy in heaven, please tell him that I said Happy Father's Day, and Happy Father's Day to you too. And also, I know that you and my dad have something in common, so if you need a buddy, I know that you loved your Buick and my dad loved his Cougar. Well, really it was my mom's, when my dad adopted it and made it his own. But anyway, like, you used to love riding around your Buick and my dad used to love riding around the Cougar. So I hope that you all have that in common, and thank you for all that you have done, and thank you for raising wonderful children. Thank you for your gift to America. The name of his channel is New Father Chronicles, and it channels the growth of his beautiful daughters, Nayeli and Amala, and they are just so cute and so funny and adorable. And his wife Leah is also part of his channel, and she is a wonderful mother. And I would have mentioned her during Mother's Day, but sometimes my mom can get a little jealous of other mothers. Nothing, Mama. Sorry. See, she's always jealous. You all may be wondering, why is she wearing this shirt? Well, I'm wearing it because one of my close friends bought it for me, and she bought it from New Father Chronicles, and it was inspired by a Valentine's Day video where LaGuardia asked his oldest daughter Amala, so how do you know that a guy is the right one for you? And she said, I am the one. And I was like, Amala, girl, you better preach. Come on, Amala, preach. Somebody give me the collection plate, preach. But I digress. Happy Father's Day to LaGuardia Cross, and thank you for all that you're doing. And even though I'm single at this moment, you are teaching me a lot about parenting, and you're helping me to prepare for parenting, and thank you so much. And actually, even though my dad, well, every YouTubers here, you all know that my parents were a little older when they had me, but I really do believe that you and my dad have a lot in common. My dad always joked that he wanted to start his own band, and I know that you're wonderful with music, and also you're great with jokes, and my dad was great with jokes, and that's something that we had in common. So just want to say Happy Father's Day, and thank you for what you do. Okay, it's time to talk about my daddy. Well, he was a Baptist minister, and he was very strict, but some will make the argument that I was a spoiled little daddy's girl. Both were true. And sometimes he did bump heads, because if you believe anything in like horoscopes or whatever, we're both 2 Capricorns and very in our own ways, but at the same time we loved each other fiercely. And he always did what he could to make sure that everything was in the best interest for me. Even before I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, I remember there was one occasion where my class was going on a school field trip to a zoo, and I couldn't go. Well, I thought in my mind that I couldn't go because I had broken my ankle. And I had given up, and I was fine with not being able to go. But do y'all know what my daddy did? My daddy went out and rented me a wheelchair just so that I could go to the zoo. My dad always pushed me to strive for greatness. However, he always warned me about possible dangers in the future. Also, even though I may have reached and achieved high accomplishments, he always made sure that I was grounded and wary of my well-being and surroundings. As I've gotten older, I've realized just how much I am like my dad. I have a love of scriptures just like he had, and actually a guy that I used to talk to gave me a big book of concordance, and when I was a little girl and as my dad was writing sermons, I used to watch him go into the concordance and look into this big book. And like one thing that I love to do, even when I'm coming to you all, I love to research the scriptures and make sure that I know exactly what is being said, and I'll talk to my mom and my sister about it. But I also Google the concordance, and I look in concordances just to make sure that everything is just the way that it should be, and I got that from my dad. Honestly, I think that my favorite memories with my dad was when he used to look after me, because remember, he was older, so he retired when I was 5, but my mom kept on working until I was in middle school. And so he used to joke that he was my first babysitter. And so over the summer, because my mom was a teacher and she later became an assistant principal, so you know, assistant principals have to work over the summer. And so over the summer, I used to enjoy my time with my father, and we would ride around in his Cougar. And by that time, it was a 1970s Cougar, and by that time the air conditioning was not working and it was so hot in that car. But and like even his radio wasn't working, but he would play the same cassette tapes and listen to old gospel songs, and we would ride around. And like, I'm from the South, so y'all know it was hot and humid, but I still just enjoyed that time getting to know my dad. Now, sticking with my father-daughter theme, I want to talk to y'all today about Mark 5 verses 22 through 42. And this is actually an interesting scripture because it's a story within a story. It's a story of Jairus seeking Jesus' help for his daughter who was dying, and then within that story is also the story of the woman with the issue of blood whom Jesus healed. And so let's look at the scripture. Today I will not read you all the scripture in its entirety, but please pause this YouTube video and read it for yourselves so that you all will be able to understand the scripture and what's going on during that time. So at first, we have a synagogue leader named Jairus who is coming to Jesus and saying, "Can you please heal my daughter?" And I want you to notice how Jairus himself was a leader. He was of a very high class, okay? I want you to take note of that. Now, around verse 25, there came a woman with an issue of blood, and she had so much faith, and she believed that if she could just touch Jesus by the hem of his garment, he could heal her. He could heal his entire he could heal her entire body. And even though Jesus was crowded by a crowd full of people, he knew that somebody had touched him and had taken some of his power, and he said, "Who touched me?" And so this woman was like, "Jesus, it was me, it was me." And then Jesus said, "Daughter, for your faith you are healed." And I want you to pay attention in verse, I do believe it's verse 30. But in verse 30, he did say, "Daughter, by your faith you are healed." And pay attention to that repetition of daughter, how Jesus referred to the woman with the issue of blood as a daughter. And also pay attention to the different classes that are going on this time, because Jairus technically was of a higher class than the woman with the issue of blood because he was a synagogue leader. However, the woman with the issue of blood was of a lower class because she was thought to have been unclean. But to Jesus, it didn't matter. That was his daughter, that was his child, and he wanted to heal her. It was a blessing. So when Jesus arrived at Jairus' home, he said, "This little girl is not dead, she is sleeping." And people still doubted a little bit, but Jesus went to the little girl and said, "Talitha cum," which means, "Little girl, arise." And she arose from the dead. And it was a miracle and a blessing. It's Father's Day. I really want all of us to be thankful to have God as our Father, and how He has always looked out for us, and for us women out here, for us little girls out here, and how He has always been a father to the fatherless. And even though my dad is no longer here, God has always been here for me in my hard times. And I am so thankful for Him, and how He has blessed my life, and how He has been there for me as I am on this walk with multiple sclerosis. And also, one last thing that I want to leave you all with is just a thought about the number 12. Because I noticed that the woman with the issue of blood had an issue of blood for 12 years. And the little girl in this scripture, Jairus' daughter, was 12 years old. Sorry, Jairus' daughter was 12 years old. And so I looked at the number 12, in different sources, and they said, like, biblically speaking, the number 12 can be a symbol of authority or a symbol of faith in the Bible. So to you all, what do you all think the number 12 symbolizes in this story? Leave it in the comments and let me know. Again, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day in heaven to God and First Lady Obama's father, and to my own father, and to so many fathers that we have lost. But we know that we are here, or that they are still here within our hearts. Okay, everyone, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you all next week. Bye. So I'm going to leave a link to the Guardia Cross's video that I mentioned at the bottom of my video, and check him out. He is so funny, and if you are a new parent or a new father, he has some great advice and some great jokes for you all. All right, see you all later. Bye.